much. Thank you very much for inviting me to speak here, to hold a workshop. And I'm very happy about the whole conference because this topic is incredibly important, but also, when I may say personally, my topic since 11 years. So it is something very important to see this sustainability, sustainable development, education of sustainable development, but also the impact of religion. And today I want to concentrate a bit on values which come from religion. When the title is How to Deal with the Pressure to Act Facing Ecological Issues when Teaching, in my preparation, I remembered that there is this 1.5 degrees Celsius goal of the United Nations, that the Earth should be 1.5 degrees Celsius warmer than in 1850. And the goal was, it is in the year 2100. And now the IPCC, the International Panel of Climate Change Researchers, said we will reach this until 2030 or a bit earlier. And when you hear this, it can be that you get some inner pressure or you feel a bit hectic and you say something has to go on. And then you hear about political groups or also students who deny that there is an ecological crisis. But to not push you into a depression, I have to say that the International Panel of Climate Change also said we can manage it. We can manage it, but we have to act quickly. This, I would say, is the outer side of my question, of my title. There is an outer pressure that we have to transform society. We have to make green technologies as a transformation technique, and. But there can be also an inner pressure that I think something has to be done. It is so combined with my worldview, combined with my hope. As teachers, we know or we experience that pressure is never a good pedagogical advisor. So I want to, before I go to the depth, I want to ask you for a bit a technical introduction or a technical challenge, so it is better. I have a Padlet. Thank you for your assistance. Padlet and like an online board. I'm so happy that the same happens when I have a Zoom teaching. Thank you. Takes a bit of time. Thank you. So this is the Padlet which I would need today for this workshop. So I invite you to what is it not? Thank you. So this is the QR code for the Padlet. You can scan it. It is also friendly to mobile using. But if you need to type it into your tablet, then I made or my colleague made a shortcut. It is bit.ly, also like bit.ly, /47 big J small v big C S small a. You can see it also on the board if you have good glasses, or here on the right side. Do you need the code any longer? No. And then, second part of the technical challenge, please start. I'm sorry, I need to do something. Good, thank you. So this is online. I'm sorry, it's my mistake. Okay. Good. We will start without Mentimeter. The first question, what I wanted to ask, probably we can make it offline, that you just raise your hands. The first questions were, how do you feel now? Do you feel good? Do you feel very good? Or something different? So very good is raising of two hands, feeling good is raising of one hand, and something different you can not show any sign if you want to. So who feels good now? Thank you. Very good. And who has different feelings like tiredness or needing a coffee break or something? Good. Thank you. It is quite, the positive is a bit more than the half. The second question, what I would like to ask, how did you get up this morning? So the first is easy, one hand, very easy, two hands, or you can sit when you did not get up easily or you woke up not so easily. So please, easy standing, getting up, very easy in getting up, or hopefully not still sleeping. Thank you. The third question is, do you welcome this workshop? Are you very interested? No, this question I can't raise because it would be, of course, a manipulation and suggestions, and pedagogy must never be manipulating, must never be putting pressure on the development of pupils, students, and must never make a moral pressure. And now we are in the topic of today. I would like to make 3 steps. Now there will be a short introduction. Then there will be a bigger work group time. And then a 5:15, I ask to present your results, and then you can we can discuss even there is a time or not. So this is the short timetable. The bigger part will be the group work. Before, I want to say a few words about myself. I have already been introduced. Thank you very much, but I have to correct a bit. It is not a university, it is a university college, which is a big difference in Austria. So we have bachelor and master studies, but not doctoral studies. And there it is about teachers training and teachers further education for agrarian teachers and for pedagogians of environment. Also the name is University College of Agrarian and Environmental Pedagogy. So really we train and educate teachers for agricultural schools. Was this the question? Yes, was the question. Austrian system, we have around 110 agricultural schools all over Austria, and it is has an own constitutional background, but this would lead too much. But since around more than 15 years, there is a second study. It is environmental pedagogy, which in fact is education of sustainable development. And I remember in one lecture that there were students of agricultural pedagogy and students of environmental pedagogy. The agricultural one had a farm with cattle, and the environmental student who raised his hand was a very dedicated vegan person. There was a bit of conflict because two value systems crashed to each other, and after the red heads calmed down a bit, we could discuss again. And then there was an interesting process because we started, or each one started to learn a lot about the other. And then I think the vegan stopped to say that the farmer is a murderer, and the farmer stopped to say that every vegan just wants to ruin my financial income. So a second comment, I managed with colleagues to come here because the train system in Austria is still inflicted. 2 weeks ago, there was such a heavy rain, permanently rain, that we had a severe flood catastrophe together with Czechia, together with Romania, parts of Bavaria, probably not so inflicted. And the train system now just goes on one rail line. So the one is still too wet, or the ground is too wet. And there I saw that with this question comes closer and closer, also to daily life. This question that these environmental issues are present. And today the question now will be which pedagogical aspects can it have, and the second, which impact religion can have. Then first of all, I want to say one comment on education of sustainable development, because in many discussions, in many workshops, and also in literature, I saw that it is not clear what we are talking about. What is education of sustainable development? And I want to just say in which way I understand it. It is mainly coming from a very old word, which is to sustain. In German, it is nachhalten, was firstly used by Hans Karl von Karlowitz here in Germany. And the interesting thing was that he looked at the forestry, and many trees were cut because the silver mining needed a lot of trees to heat and to produce silver. So there were almost no trees, because just to imagine that a tree needs 80 to 100 years to grow. So it means when I plant a tree now, the next generations can harvest the tree. And so it is a question that you make a forestry that also the next generations can live well. And so it is a question to find a balance. Today in the Austrian law of forestry, it is really strictly that you just can cut out the amount of trees or the tons of trees which grow in a year. It is, of course, a very statistical point of view, but with this it is made sure that the forests will not lose their substance. And you can harvest wood in the next centuries as well. This is this basic understanding of sustainability, but of course it is undercomplex, because in modern world it is not so easy that you say you have a plant, you harvest, you take care. The situation or the context is much more complicated, and so the United Nations developed some idea of sustainable development, which we can see now. There are these 3 columns of sustainable development, that you have ecology, economy, and social questions. There are different models as well. 1987, the Brundtland Commission from Gro Brundtland from Norway made a very good basic definition. It was about the understanding of a fair and just development for all over the world. And it is now pointed out within the limits of the earth. There shall be resources for next generations and resources for all countries. What is next generations? This is a bit a tricky question. What does it mean that they shall have the same resources like we have if we probably use a bit too much? And this, also, there are many detailed questions, so better we don't look at it. And what is often forgotten that it is the global aspect that the not so developed countries or the still developing countries, of course it is very Western-centric to say this, but they shall have enough of resources to fight hunger and to build up a good life, whatever good life means, but that they can develop. This is often forgotten. So my approach is so a bit political or a social ethic approach. I follow here Professor Vogt, whom we have already heard about. Yeah, now the next circumstance where I come from is constructivist didactic. And to make a long story short, constructivist didactic is, to be honest, a big hurt for teachers because it says we can't teach. You can't make that a student knows anything. The student by himself or herself has to create or build up own constructs. So the role of a teacher is to make a learning, teaching process, a setting that that the student develops his own knowledge, its own competences. And you see our university college has developed a Green Pedagogy. I just want to say that it's not about a political party. And you see that there is a quite complicated way. A really dedicated constructivist would say it is too simple, this picture. But it means that you make a process, you run through a process that you see your constructs, also your pre-knowledge, and then by social interaction in work groups or by some impulses of the teacher or teaching person or about some irritation, you start to open this old construct, you destruct something, and then you can build up a new construction. And this, I think, is a very good model to look how values and value education can work. And it is a very communicative process. This is also very important. Yeah, these, as you see, long-lasting processes will make this pressure to act not less, because when it needs probably years to develop something, it is not helping. And the second, there is always this risk that someone goes through this all didactics and decides, I will waste as much as I can. This is my learning from this. Also the output still has the risk to be not sustainable. And so I want to bring in a new approach as an addition, that you start with this value education, which is, to be honest, value communication. And I would like to bring in the value system of the monotheistic religions with the theology of creation. Whatever it means in the detail, I just would put up some comments on it, that there is a creator, God, and there are creations. And when you see this in the Torah, in the Bible, and in Quran, then you can understand the position of human beings, not that it is the crown of creation, what was often said, that it is one of the creations. But human beings are able for ethic because of their intellect and their possibility to reflect. And so there is a task for human beings, that they take responsibility that all world, the whole earth, all animals, human beings can live well. And there some values follow out of this. This is what I call the responsibility for creation. I know that this topic was a bit, this wording was a bit deconstructed this morning, but I am not so quick to change this name in my presentation. Finally, it means that there can be values like I have responsibility. I am connected. More I don't want to say because it is now your part. There are two questions, and also for the online group, something you will find these questions on the Padlet as well. The first question is, which values of responsibility for creation can have an impact on education of sustainable development teachings? Second question, which impact can a spirituality of responsibility for creation have on the pressure to act? And for the online group, which values of a spirituality of theology of creation would you mention? And there are a few texts which are really for inspiration because they are from the Roman Catholic Pope or Francis Laudato Si. It's really just for inspiration here. So these questions are probably big. So I ask you to answer spontaneously and to get in touch and to discuss. How can this work? I remember that one time I asked how many people can be in the room, and then it was a number, it could be 50 or 60, then I had to develop some setting. I think today it will be easier to find work groups. I would ask to build 2 work groups with 2 and 3 people, or 3 and 3, and one takes the question 1 and one the question 2. So these who want to have the question 1 go please to this blue board, and the other ones to the sign, which you can see here, this poster. And please get up and choose the side. Question 1, question 2. This is your responsibility to find the groups. Yeah, who wants to participate? Everyone can. Vienna? Will you also, the chair of this session, take part? Very good, because then we have a good number. 6 people you can divide by 2. No. We don't have time. Later on. The setting is that you discuss and then you present something. So question 1. Thank you for organization. Good. Thank you for your group work. I know that time was very limited, but to be honest, this is also a part of learning processes. So thank you very much. I would like to continue in 2 steps. The first, I would read the results, and then I ask each group to shortly present or discuss a point. So you can choose. The group 1, probably you can read it, and may I ask you to scroll down. But you can read it on your own devices. It is very small letters. The responsibility for creation, to question A, is a personal commitment, convincing others, and a dialogue. I don't know if it was a bit a contradiction. Through dialogue. Okay. B, solidarity, austerity, benevolence, discipline, order, self-control, and C, practicing a value-based and mindful teaching. For question 2, there were also comments on A, B, C. A, there was the question more, what is spirituality? Connection with the Holy Spirit. Then B, what does this spirituality mean to the responsibility of creation? This is connecting to the world, Earth. And C, which impact can a spirituality of responsibility for creation have on our problem, the pressure to act? And here it is written, relaxation of pressure to act according to our will, hope to find solutions based on community solutions, cross-culture solutions. So thank you very much. Now each group would have 5 minutes to make comments or to ask the other group. You need to decide. The one person in Zoom was, so far I didn't see any reaction, no.
Group 1, I would like to learn more about your thoughts regarding austerity and what you mean with it, because austerity measures have a bit of a schmeckle when it comes to business and economic practices.
Who said this in group 1? There's the question, what does austerity mean? Austerity, yeah? In your discussions, what did it mean? Yeah. Please with the microphone. Yeah.
In our group, austerity means not spending more than necessary. Well, that's a basic principle, really, for sustainability.
So thank you, yeah. There was agreement from the group 2, yeah, thank you. Now the group 1 has a chance to ask the group 2.
My question would be, why do you connect spirituality only to the Holy Spirit? It's a very Christian figure.
The microphone, please.
You're right with your comment, and it was because it was 4 Christians sitting around the table that applied to Christian spirituality or theology.
Okay, A is interpreted as Christian spirituality.
It was where we came from, our conditioning, but you can enlarge it to any kind of spirituality that is out there. The Hindu, the Buddhist, I mean, they're all, go ahead.
But no, but my question is there a thing like spirituality itself? We thought we were Christians, so we start with Christian spirituality, which means spirit, Holy Spirit, connected. And then there are different approaches, but spirituality itself, an objective meaning of spirituality, I don't know. I don't know, is it? Is there a thing like that? Oh, well, the youngest.
Yeah. Feel free to discuss this.
What is
But the microphone,
Meaning of
please.
spirituality, I want to know that. I want to know the objective meaning of spirituality.
Yeah, this is the question. And I think we heard a lot about spirituality today and yesterday. And I think it is a very open term.
What is your perspective on it? You asked the question.
I think if we use the word Holy Spirit, the impression to me is to stick it to other religions. It's a kind of colonialistic work to stick it to others. It's a special Christian. I only want to know that's a special Christian, and it's a spirit. It's a part of spirituality. So, but the figure of the Holy Spirit is special Christian, and it's not the same when Alexander spoke about the great spirit which is in all things. It's not. We should discuss. Let's say it in this form. We should and could discuss whether it's we are talking about the same thing.
Yes, but we have our provenience, and that's what we said. We didn't see anything else. But I have two further thoughts for that. First, this morning we shouted all together, "We shall overcome," and that hurted my interreligious soul, which I have from my university college. We never ever would do that. Sing "We shall overcome" with people who are not Christian. This is, wie sagt man denn, übergriffig. This is, for me, it is impossible.
It is pushing.
It's impossible for me to sing "We shall overcome" with someone who is not Christian.
But this was often practiced inside religions for peace and the World Assembly. It was not a problem for people from other religions.
In our everyday experience with all the religions and already with Orthodox Christians, it's not possible. Maybe it's a problem of Vienna. And the second thing is, we have in the paper, because I read the paper for the memorandum, and there's the word interreligious spirituality. And here I can't imagine what that would be. But it's just to go further with this thought, no? Holy Spirit is the Christian provenience, but interreligious spirituality, what would that be? And interreligious singing or praying?
I think this we should discuss in the final round tomorrow morning. What is or should be or could be interreligious spirituality? As the chair, I have to mention that we have 3 minutes left. So,
thank you,
Michael. Please find the things together.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just one last comment to group 2 and question 2. What we discussed was, if we surrender to the Spirit and we trust, then we can connect to our environment without the pressure that we will act out of our own will. We can connect to other people and we are open to solutions. It's not the first time that mankind is facing tremendous challenges. They might look different than to previous generations, but we have been there before and we have managed to get through them and to a new destination through the connectedness, interconnectedness.
These are very important thoughts for the next step. We hear afterwards for the panel discussion with last generation or similar persons.
Yeah, thank you.
They're waiting outside, Michael.
Yeah, because of time, I have to stop the discussion now. I'm sorry, we would need more time. I just would like to ask you now to go to this Mentimeter on the Padlet on the left, down, 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 down. Probably you have to refresh your browser because I put this now. There is a question for your self-reflection. Briefly, what was my learning experience now? You have a lot of letters to type, so please, briefly. Yeah. Your individual learning. And while you are typing, I would like to say a few didactical principles which I tried to use now. The first was to be example-oriented, situation-centered. The second is participation, so very important for education of sustainable development. Then social group methods and reflection, which is, for example, now. So all who are online, they can write. One says we need more time. And you still, yeah, this, okay. If they're not more online, then thank you very much. And it is coming, it is coming. No pressure, we are redeemed, spiritual answer. So thank you very much. So my goal was a bit to work with you, to show a bit principles, and time was of course too short, but it is in education of sustainable development. Normally you need many units to work on a topic.